Okay, we're live, but can anybody hear me? That is the real question. Oh, yes, we can. The thing started moving as soon as I transitioned.
I can hear you.
Yeah, and the thing's moving. Why?
Good job.
Why?
You fixed it.
But why wasn't it working before?
Because Streamlabs is stupid.
Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to the Shannon Power Hour. We're so happy you're joining us, whether you are here live or you are watching on YouTube, or
That's the only
those
options.
are the only options. Yep, that's exactly right. Those are the only options.
Or if you're watching from some fourth dimensional perspective of the universe.
Well, there you go. See, it wasn't the only option. It's been a couple weeks, and when we take a week off, we're super silly the next time we come back, usually. So, yeah.
Sundays are
Sundays
silly
are
days.
Silly Sundays. There are our silly days. We got 2 episodes to recap tonight. But first, before we do that, Sean, how the fuck are you?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I played D&D today for the first time in a while.
Was that Steph's game?
It was for Steph's game,
Awesome.
yeah. It was nice.
Yeah.
I haven't played in person in a while. This is my usual in-person D&D fix.
Very nice.
It was nice. We had an epic fight. It took place in the Astral Sea on some floating rocks.
Very cool.
And we won. We leveled up.
Oh,
Level 12.
Level 12. Congratulations.
Yeah. It's funny because this campaign's been going for a very long time.
Yeah.
This was our 65th session.
Wow.
It was cool. So yeah, that was fun.
Cool.
Did that today. It was a busy week at work, but we had it was nice. It was fine. It was good. What else? Not much, really. This has been a pretty real, chill, not much going on week. Next week I have a very busy weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me too.
Because you're gonna
be there. Yeah.
So actually, funny enough, then we will not be having the Power Hour next week because we won't have time.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I have to shoot a wedding on Friday, and then I'm hanging out with you on Saturday, and I have a family reunion on Sunday.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. Like a whole, both sides of the family reunion?
Not both. Well, yeah, okay, my brain just broke. I have a very small family. Very small family. So it's we have family that live in Massachusetts,
okay,
which is only and they're only an hour and a half away, but we never see them. We never see them ever. So we're seeing them basically. There's only no one from my dad's side is coming, but that's really only 3 people.
Okay.
And that's because they live on the other side of the country. So it's all from my mom's side. And even that is not that many people.
Yeah.
So it's like a normal
like a gathering
party for a normal family. But for us it's a big deal. Okay. So that's happening. Which I'm excited for. Yeah. It'll be fun. And yeah, it is gonna be a busy weekend. So looking forward to that. How was your week?
It was good. Let's see, what did we do this week?
You saw the Jurassic Park orchestra. Was it an orchestral playing?
Yes, it was the National Symphony Orchestra playing the score of the Jurassic Park film while the film was playing on a big screen.
Very cool.
It was fucking awesome. It was very, very cool to hear that iconic theme song play by a full live orchestra. So yeah, it was a fun date night. We went out to dinner beforehand. My bestie babysat, which was really great.
What'd you get for dinner? What kind of food?
We went to Fogo de Chao. It's a Brazilian steakhouse. And
that sounds good.
So good. Yep. There's a location DC in Tyson's Corner, Virginia. We went to the one in Reston last night because that was close to where the venue was. It was
nice.
Just as much meat as you can stuff in your face. Just
so yeah, I've been to a Brazilian steakhouse before. I had dinner with my parents yesterday after going for a walk. Nice. Yeah, grilled for them. Fun. Yeah, it's fun.
We went.
What else did you do this week?
Like today, we went to a local park that had a miniature train, which was so fun. It was adorable, and one person in my tiny little family of 3 was much more excited than another one.
Josh, right?
Oh yeah.
Not even the child.
No, he was so
That's
excited.
not surprising that Josh is wicked into miniature trains.
He just trains in general. He just loves trains.
Really?
Did you not know this? Yeah, he fucking
I didn't know he had a train obsession. That's actually freaking hilarious, and I can't wait to make fun of him for it when you guys come up here.
Oh, please do.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I
mean, trains are pretty cool. We live by a train track, so every time you hear something, it's all exciting.
I love train tracks because in my mind, they're like, the train tracks are romanticized, and that I always imagine myself walking up them. And when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a hobo who lived on a train. I was when I was a kid, I really wanted to be a hobo who lived on a train. I had a whole.
Since then?
No, I would still freaking love to be a hobo. I mean, honestly, I understand it's not really an actual glamorous life, but I'd like to live the fantasy version of being a hobo on a train who eats beans, has a knapsack full of his very few belongings. It's kind of like, truthfully,
like an D&D character.
Well, I was about to say, like, truly, I guess I really just want to be a D&D adventurer who lives,
a remote lifestyle. You have the hermit
background. I mean, I've always wanted that, though. Like, I also love the trope of the space cowboy who lives in his spaceship.
Yep. You also love the wizard in the tall tower.
I like the seclusion. I think.
Yeah. That is common amongst all 3.
Yeah, it's common amongst my desires. I mean, I would also like to live in a lighthouse.
I've heard that before. Yep.
But I think it's funny because that's part of it. But I'm a very social human, though.
You are.
I don't do well being completely isolated. But I think I like having a haven. No, I think I like having a haven that I can retreat to in an isolated. But also I like hosting.
Yeah.
So I like having an interesting space.
Are you an extroverted introvert?
I believe so. Yeah. I'm very extroverted, but I also
you need to go to your haven.
Yeah.
You need to have a haven where you can go and recharge.
Yes. I think that's accurate. I think it deep down what this really is just me in my heart wishing I wasn't renting and I owned my own home. That's what this really is. It's just a deep contrived way of saying I wish I owned my own land and home.
There's a couple of houses on our street that are for sale.
Yeah, I don't have any kind of money for a down payment on a house. That is not a thing unless there's someone just giving houses away. Then
I'll
just like, who would like this house? I'm giving it away. And I'm like, I'll take it.
One house, please.
I would love to live on a farm. Anyway.
Space, farm, lighthouse. You got all the territories.
I like animals. I like space. I would like just a menagerie of animals. Well, I don't really do like I'm not like butchering them or anything. They're just my buddies that hang out with me. Like just like farms do smell. I drive through farmland often because it's one of my pastimes. And it reeks. But also like I don't mind like the manure smell. What I mind is when you drive by like a true like dairy farm and there's just so many cows that the air just reeks of just like of cattle. But it's because there's so many of them that it reeks. When you only have like a couple cows, I can handle that smell quite well.
Yeah.
General farm smell. It's the big factory-esque farms that it's bleh.
Where are you in your acquisition of a pet? I know you were looking at, was it cats? Or was it a dog?
I don't want a cat. I like cats, but I like other people's cats. I also realize I might be slightly allergic to cats.
Oh no.
Because the cat, and again, it could also just been I let a cat sit in like right here for a week. But no, I am looking to get a dog, but not anytime soon. I'm thinking more in the new year, closer to when I can have more time to be with it at home. Maybe we'll see. Summer is the best time to do it, but summer's almost over because I have 2 remote days that I can be with the dog. But I would like. But the thing is, I don't want to adopt like a fresh puppy. I want like a 1-year-old dog, 2-year-old dog. Even I would even get like a 5-year-old dog.
Yeah.
I'm not looking picky at that. Although I would like a big dog if I can. I'd like a Great Dane or a Bernese Mountain Dog, or Irish Wolfhound is my dream dog. But I will be acquiring an animal within the year.
That's so exciting.
It's a weird thing to say. I will be acquiring a creature, acquiring an animal within the year.
One you're familiar.
Yes, my buddy. My good buddy.
Your good buddy.
For now, though, I will just be visiting and dog sitting my parents' dog, Cooper, who adores me.
And who tells you all the things, right? About
True. The lore in Paradise is that I don't create anything and don't do any world building. It's all in the mind of my parents' dog. He whispers it to me every now and then, and I write it down.
Oh my goodness.
I would. Oh my god. Funny you say that, Zabrian. So when I get to be a player in a D&D game, I love acquiring creatures, acquiring animals.
Fact.
I don't do it really on Oric.
Revolutions.
I do love starting revolutions also. I don't do Oric is a very specific character, so I don't do it as much with him. But I guess the way he acquires animals is really he acquires people to be his companions that he used to look at more like pets. Sloan used to be more of a pet to him, and now is more of a family member. But like a pet though, like a beloved pet. Anyway, but like my character I play in Stefan's campaign, I used to acquire so many pets. I have a riding lizard, a giant riding lizard. I have an unkeg
riding lizard.
Yep.
That's funny.
Which I recently learned how to talk to animals and found out that the riding lizard has the most annoying voice ever. So I don't really like that one anymore. Her name is Beverly, and she's kind of annoying.
You love that name too. You use that name.
I do. I have, and then I have an unkeg that is protecting a kobold warren right now. That is my best friend Dirk's family's place. And then and then any other time I can, I'll have animal companions, or I'll start revolutions like I did in the Feywild for that one shot.
Yep. That is exactly what happened.
Speaking of revolutions and protecting your own folk, what happened in the last 2 episodes of Paradise?
All right, Sean. Well, I'm just gonna come.
That was one of my best segues.
That was top notch. I'm just gonna come right out and say I'm probably gonna get a terrible grade for these 2 recaps because I do not have a lot of notes.
I mean, it was mostly combat.
Yeah, it's 21 though. Actually, you know what?
21 had a lot of.
It had a lot of combat, but I do have good notes for.
21 had a lot of talking in the beginning.
Right, and I do have notes for that because I stopped taking notes when combat started.
Yeah.
And then 22, I started taking notes, but then we were in combat again. So
yes.
I have literally 1 page of notes for 22. That's it. Just this.
Well, most of what happened in 22 happened after.
After the first
interaction-wise, like.
Yeah.
No, in 22. Most of what happened in 22 was little stuff at the end of the session.
Yeah.
Because mostly it's straightforward combat.
Right.
Otherwise.
Right. Wait, so
there's actually more in 21 than 22 as far as like content you might write notes about. But even that was just prep for the battle.
Right.
Like these are fairly straightforward. Like there's not a ton of details I think that you need to like hit. So those minor notes might be enough.
Well, let's hope so, because I don't know. And
all right, so then let's get your predicted grade for both of them. All so right. I mean, last week you predicted, or 2 weeks ago you predicted you'd get a C, and you got an A-.
Yeah.
But right. You also had a lot of notes.
I did.
All right.
We'll go.
All right, 21.
21. We'll go with a B for 21.
B. Okay.
We'll go with a B.
And then 22. A little more recent.
I'm also gonna say a B for that because I feel like there's stuff that I missed. We'll just aim.
You know, at the end of the day, these grades don't mean anything. And then 2, at the second end of the day, the predicted grade means even less.
I know, but Sean, I've been so conditioned to
this is the therapy.
Grades. That's right, exposure therapy.
You should be
slowly working. I don't know.
I mean, I think you even admitting that you think you're not going to do that well is a step forward.
Yeah, but I'm still screaming on the inside. You just can't hear it.
Yeah, but you're not screaming on the outside.
Progress. We'll call a win a win. All right, we're gonna start with session 21, and 21 is where we start making preparations for the almost said barbarian retaliation, bandit retaliation after we blew up their compound with an ever-flowing water contraption. And because this bandit group is working for somebody, we don't know who. And they were scamming the town out of money because they were manufacturing this sickness / drug that they were getting everybody addicted to and telling them that they had the cure. And when it was a mess. So we were sent by Professor Sigil of the Hyven Academy to go check into this sickness, and there's several tiers of getting paid for this job, but we kind of got pretty invested in it. Some of us more so right off the bat, and others took some convincing. So all that is to say, we're making preparations because the bandits are pissed and we're pretty sure they're coming for us. So we start, let's see, what do we start? Fionn and Bruce start gathering materials to make traps to lay. Jacquette and Saskia retrieve a kite from the well that Jacquette had thrown in there in a previous session. This kite had been flying over the Onomancer's house, and it's part of that naming ritual, and it had broken free or seemed to have been cut down by an elemental wind. Jacquette picked it up, tossed it down a well, and then we pissed off the Onomancer, so as a show of good faith, we're gonna go retrieve it. And Septimus, while we're all doing this, he's making a rough map of the area because he is our party strategist. He didn't want to stay in the first place. Or his initial reaction was to, we got the information, we did what we said we'd come to do, we should just leave. And then Saskia was like, absolutely not. Like, we pissed off the bandits, we can't leave this town here to die. Jacquette also wanted to stay, but he wanted to stay because he wanted to, for the fame, fortune, and glory, and squeeze every ounce of silver out of this job as he possibly could. Fionn could go either way, and Bruce, I think, wanted to leave as well.
Yes.
So, the kite retrieval from the well is successful. We have a meeting. There is going to be a meeting with the townspeople, but we have a party meeting before that to talk about what we're gonna do. Sorry, I keep yawning. So we make a plan for the town meeting. We make a list of supplies that we need. Our main objective is to capture Dalen, Barnaby, and the Dragonborn, who seem to be the leaders of this bandit group, if possible. And we want to take them alive because we have questions for them, obviously. We also want to talk to the herbalist Fanny, because Septimus has an idea. And we're trying to make all of the attacks as non-lethal as possible. We'll see how well that goes in combat in just a moment. So we have a group meeting. Some villagers are angry and embarrassed upon hearing about the situation with the drugs. We discuss the bandits and everything that they did and are possibly going to do. Jacquette very eloquently and very cheesily hypes up the crowd and gets people to those who are able to stand with us. He gets them to stand with us, and then everybody else is going to go camp out in the forest until it's safe to be here again. Let's see. Septimus asks for Fanny because he wants to make essentially a hand cannon that has like a sleeping powder in it, because his idea is that we get the remaining bandits in a group, we fire that in there, and we knock them out. It's a very cool idea. So he talks to Fanny about that. She's like, I can maybe make something like that, but we'll see. Septimus also introduced Sal to the group, the entirety of the group, and like some people were like really scared of him, but Jacquette, once again with his silver tongue, was like, but look, he has a spirit inside him as well, so he's not all bad. And that seemed to help. Let's see. And then we're basically we just make preparations. We get ready. The people who can't fight retreat to the forest. The party spreads out. Jacquette hides in the well. Saskia goes up on the top of the Windy Mercado to be support from above. Bruce, Fiern, and Sal lay some traps, and Septimus is finalizing strategy and stuff. He does give Sass that hand cannon so that she can fire it off. Yeah, exactly. Kapow. And then they come. We wait, and they eventually come at night. They come with torches, which is, I believe, what you named the episode.
It is.
And then we get into before we get into the thick of combat. Septimus attempts to parlay with Fiern as well. They say that they're talking to the Dragonborn. They're like, we want the cat and we want the witch. And Fiern's like, they fucked off. They're not here anymore. Trying to lie. Didn't work. So we engage in some pretty epic combat. And that's all I have for 21.
Any notes from anything you can mention that's important from the combat for setting up the next episode?
Okay. Give me a second. I need to visualize this.
You don't have to recap word for word, second by second, what happened in the combat, but what are notable things that happened in the combat? Because I don't need you to be like, I attack, and then they miss, and then this, and then that.
Give me a second. They
more so things that are notable. It's like we all know what combat's like.
Yep. They're probably going to be out of order as I remember them, but
it's fine.
There is one of the bandits is a wild magic sorcerer and very dangerous. He attempts to go invisible at one point. Saskia counterspells that. I have my little a very
epic moment because I did not expect it because I
forget I had counterspell.
I'm a jaded DM for counterspell because I played a whole campaign or most of a campaign with 2 wizards in the party.
Yeah. Is it a spell? Is it a spell? Is it a spell? Is it a spell?
Is it a spell? Yeah. And when I heard you say, "Is that a spell?" I was like, "No way, she prepared counterspell."
Pew, 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 pew. Yes, I did.
I didn't even know that was a spell you chose. I was like, I figured you would have But I was very happy that you did that.
Yeah, I was like waiting for it. I was waiting for somebody to do something magic-y so I could be like,
yeah. And he was casting invisibility on himself
to
sneak around and do some more lethal damage.
But nope, sorry. Witch said no. So that happened. Bruce, give me a second to think about how it actually happened.
It's pretty straightforward.
I don't know actually how it happened.
You don't need to.
But like he basically bamfed Wild Magic Sorcerer into the basement. He did some like
cast a spell.
Switcheroo, right?
He cast a spell. That's all you have to say. You don't have to get the details of it. I know that there's
detail-oriented, Sean.
So he saw him from the first floor of the tavern, looking out the window, and he bamped him down into the basement after he had locked the basement and put traps at the door.
Yes.
There was some confusion on what this basement actually looks like. I could tell between everyone, because I was like, "There's an opening on the outside that goes down to the basement," and then people were like, "Is there an opening inside? Is it open?" Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, "No, there's only one opening." And trapped the Wild Magic Sorcerer down there.
Yep.
While you all were dealing with the other guys, who most of you were non-lethally killing, or not killing, non-lethally taking down.
Most of us.
Yeah.
The one that said was like, we need to do non-lethal damage, got really caught up in the heat of combat and was just pissed and was just doesn't know her own strength.
Killed like 5 of them.
Yeah, she did. Yep. Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, it's a very accidental murder.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Dragonborn drives their great sword through Sal's chest and drops Sal, which sends Septimus into an absolute what's the word I'm looking for?
Rage.
Yes, thank you. A rage
fury.
Sends him into a fury. So that happened during that, but the Fearn drops the Dragonborn. So Dragonborn.
It might be a good transition into episode 22.
Is there anything else I missed from
from that combat? Yeah. That was significant, other than cool moments. You took most of them alive. Sass was killing people. Captured the Wild Magic Sorcerer in the basement. I think that's it for 21. Like, that's significant. Like, obviously we could go through the whole combat and sway movement and back and forth.
In the well.
Jacques did some cool stuff in the well. Oh, Jacques killed a man.
I was gonna say he stealth killed. Yes, he stealth.
He killed one guy. He killed one person.
Yes, he did. Okay. 22. We're dealing with the aftermath of this combat. Septimus is inconsolable at the loss of Sal. Mike portrayed this so beautifully. It was so well done. He yells at Bruce. Bruce is coming over, just trying to help, and like reaches down to help and see what he can do. And Septimus is like, "Don't touch him!" And it was really, really well done. Kudos, Mike.
Yeah, I got to the recordings are probably clear, but I gotta talk to you all about your Discord settings, because I think Mike still has his like noise suppressor on. Yeah. So like when his first yell was like suppressed by that.
Yeah.
So I think that, but his recording shouldn't have that. Like the recording for it should be fine when I go to edit the episode.
Yep.
But I think he still has his Discord settings to have suppression on.
Got it. Yeah, I think I do vaguely remember that. Like, we could see it in his face that he was yelling, but I think Discord.
But we couldn't hear it as much. His recording should have the full. It might clip if he didn't. If he was right on his mic, but
it was. But either way, it was really, really solid RP from Mike. Let's see. We all of us except Fearn then hear a deep voice in our heads. We all hear something different. I didn't get everybody's. I got mine. I got Bruce's. Bruce's was basically like, you're a coward. You know, you run away from fights. Like, you're a coward. You're a scaredy cat. And Sass's was, it was saying that like you're so powerful and they're no match for you. But then like later in the combat turns to no, you're not that powerful and you're actually a coward too, so fuck you. It talked to what did it say to Jaquette and Septimus? Because I missed it.
So to Septimus it said see how they talk about your best companion like piece of junk, basically saying no one cares about Sal. And they don't care ultimately because they don't care about Sal, they don't care about you. And then Jaquette, it said, I can see the body in the well, can you?
Yep. And then second bout of combat starts. There's these shadow entities called shades that are attacking us. First, we had no idea where they were coming from, and they were reanimating corpses.
They weren't really reanimating them.
They
were consuming them.
Yeah. As soon as I said that, I was like, that's not the right word.
So the shades, when they first showed up, were not. You could see them.
Like
the shades,
shadows,
you can see
right?
them.
Yeah.
Once the monster's actually called a shadow. It's not called a shade. I just kept calling them shades.
Oh, okay.
Because it was easier. You couldn't see them at first because of the darkness, but then they came into the light, or those of you with dark vision could see them. But they can hide really well in the darkness. So at first you didn't see them, and then they ambushed you.
Right.
And they attacked
Some
Bruce.
Of us were surprised.
Not Bruce. Some of you were surprised, yes. They attacked. They didn't start animating the other bodies until a little bit later.
Yeah.
Because when you killed them, they turned into black sand.
Right.
And then that sand would
move to another one.
Yeah, and it would go into a body, and it would start to basically consume the body. The way I described it is that their bodies were like weird disjointed cloth, like they were like a cloth that was over a skeletal face. So that cloth would then spread over the body, and it would consume everything underneath it. That's why after you killed that shade, like any of that body that wasn't consumed by the shade fell down to the ground. That's why there was like half a man with one of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. In my mind, I was picturing like Dementors from Harry Potter.
They're kind of like Dementors, yeah.
Just like the way that they portrayed them in the movie. So we don't know where these are coming from, but we do eventually. Sass looked up to the roof and saw the half-orc, Dalen, basically creating these shadows and presumably the voice in all of our heads. Fucking with us and trying to get in our heads and make us lose focus. Let's see. My notes for this are really bad. So we had combat with that. We eventually do enough damage to Dalen and get rid of enough shades that he's like, I'm out, and he disappears. We have the wild magic sorcerer bandit in the basement. Fiern and Jaquette start bringing all the other bandits who are unconscious but alive down to the basement.
That's after you talk to the wild magic sorcerer.
Right. Yeah, we talked to who? Yes. Right. We talked to the wild magic sorcerer first, and he says he's had an episode. He kept saying he had an episode and didn't feel great, and there was like this like purpley shit all over him. It's some sort of magical explosion seemed to have happened while he was down there. And he was like, what did he say? He said he was like, I need to rest. Like, I can't talk to you. I need to rest because I've had this episode and I feel like shit, essentially. And then Jaquette and Sass Jaquette did most of the talking, but actually it was the three of us. The Chaos Trio are taking turns kind of interrogating him.
It started with you and Fiern interrogating him, with Jaquette waiting in the back.
And then, and he comes in at the opportune moment and implies heavily that the person that we work for, the party works for, is Mr. Greaves, which did seem to have some sort of effect on the wild magic sorcerer, seemingly that he was afraid of Mr. Greaves. So, and he's basically said, let me rest and I'll tell you whatever you need to know, like, in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Sass takes first watch, making sure everybody, is calm and doesn't try and escape while the everybody else starts to rest. Septimus took Sal into the blacksmith's shop. With the help of the daughter. Yes, the daughter of the blacksmith said, "Hey, you can use my dad's shop, like, after what you've done for the town, like, and I'll help you if I can. Whatever we have, just let me know." And I think Bruce went to help too, right? With that.
Not really, actually.
No.
Bruce did not go to help. Bruce stayed outside.
Okay. Oh, was it Fearn went in to check?
Fearn went to go talk with him and offer a friendly name, Sal, and what he thought was a gesture of compassion, and Septimus was not about it.
Yep. He's just too crushed at this whole thing. Saskia has a visit from her patron, which is very cool. Basically saying, like, you need to get back to the ocean. You're too far away from the ocean. And Sass is like, yeah, I don't want to be here anymore. That sounds good. And what else did she say?
She's freaking out the entire time, but she wasn't really calmly saying any of this. She was also a little fish.
Right, a tiny
with
little
your
fish
eye.
With my eye, yeah, like, yeah. Anytime she visits, it seems like she, like, takes my cloudy eye.
So the thing is, it's not cloudy when she has it. Like, your eye is cloudy always, but when she presents it, it's not cloudy.
Interesting.
Yeah. So she started freaking out, saying, "Are you sad? Are you sad? Are you sad?" You were saying, obviously, and she was saying, "Do I have to clean up all of your messes for you?"
Right. And she said, "I've already like, reincarnated that one person who's walking."
She's basically saying, "I've already done this before. How many times do I have to do this?" Yeah. A dead man walks in Hyven.
Yeah, I need to go
covered
back
in
and
seawater.
Yeah. I gotta go back and watch that scene again before tomorrow. But yeah, and so Sass is not in her right mind. She's, like, still trying to come to terms with the fact that her name means nothing, that she's killed so many people in the past not even 24 hours, and is just basically talking nonsense. But she hears her patron say this, and she's like, wait, what the fuck? What do you mean a dead man walks in Hyven? Like, who, what? And then goes away.
And then she ends it with, "You know what the ocean says." That's something that you had said earlier in the session to Jacques. To Jacquet, yeah, when because he challenged you. He said, "Look, now you're are you just a killer now?"
Yep. You know what the ocean says.
Yeah, which has become Sass's kind of like "fuck you" response to the things. So that the patron. This was kind of a first look into the patron a little more than previously, because the patron's not really talked before much on camera. You've only seen visual representations of her, whether it's the anglerfish eye or just the green aura. And once she did scream once in your mind.
That's right, she did.
And this is the first time she's said words to you since before the campaign.
Yes, and a lot, like, so far away from the ocean too.
Yes. Possibly, as could possibly be why she's so disjointed and why she's so manic when she was talking to you. She floods the space and then portrays herself in some way based on obviously ocean themed things, as you are a fathomless warlock. And in this one, she was a little tiny guppy.
Yeah, little fish.
that had no eyes, except one of them was replaced by a human eye.
Yeah.
Which is a really creepy visual.
Yeah, very creepy visual.
And And yeah, she says, why do I have to clean up so many things for you? Why are you sad? Why are you sad? Are you happy? Why can't you? Like, she wants you to be happy, almost in a weird,
Sass was saying,
gaslighty way.
Yeah. And Sass was saying, like, well, maybe she didn't say it outright, but this, I don't know if it read that way, but I was thinking, what if I don't want to do this anymore? I started. You
did say it outright.
I started to. I think. I don't know that I finished it.
I think you. No, I know exactly what you did because it was really good. Really, I rewatched the scene. You said, "What if I don't want to do this anymore?" And then, like, I remember if I responded or not, but you just said, "Oh, right." Like, you just said, "Oh, right," and like the tone, the voice acting was very good in this scene.
Thank you. I have to go back and watch it before tomorrow.
You should. I strongly recommend it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you went to sleep. Because Fearon took over.
Yep.
Gave some mean eyes to the bandits as they were.
He did. Oh, he also tried to talk to Sass and be like, I don't know what's going on here. I've covered for you, but like, you need to get your shit together, basically. And Sass was just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of brushing him off.
Fearon really does, like, it's funny because I don't think he's getting like much like traction with it, but he does defend Sass quite often in the conversations with Septimus and Jacquet, where he's like, yeah, I know she's been weird and she does erratic things, but like, she's dealing with something that we can all see she's clearly dealing with. She's tampering with a spirit that is besting her. We should help her.
Yep.
Thanks, Fearon. Yes. The other thing that happened that you didn't mention was the blacksmith's daughter had a conversation with Septimus about Sal and about machines and spirits and whatnot. Basically, one of Septimus's goals here with showing Sal to the people and getting Jacquet to talk him up was to basically, without saying it, say the machines are what will save you. And this machine is going to save your lives. And
he defended at least.
Yeah.
Until he was down.
Yeah. And and then it was like, so she was kind of like, what does this mean? Like, who is this machine? What is the machine? Why? But basically, she was going through exactly what happened to Septimus when he first found Sal. He was doubtful of the machine's benevolence and thought they were evil, and then one saved him. And now he puts his life in their hands. And so she's kind of had this... Exactly. And, Septimus has firm beliefs on all of this, and he doesn't respect the spirits. He respects that they exist, and he doesn't not believe in them, but he doesn't respect the way that they exist. They're wild. He thinks that he thinks you should respect them, but you shouldn't
like worship them,
rely on them or worship them.
And I don't know if, maybe I shouldn't say, because I don't know if it came out on stream, but did he give reasons as to why he doesn't trust, or was that off screen?
He has not given a full explanation of why he doesn't trust. All he says is that they don't
you know what it was?
Rely on them.
I asked Mike offline just so that's what it was, so I could understand his mindset. So that wasn't on not yet anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's been hinted at and mentioned a few times when he's talked about his family.
Yeah.
But and I think he may have said a few things to Fearon when Fearon asked him why he hated the spirit so much. But basically, this is kind of like his first, not convert, but interested party in like what he believes in, which ultimately is very interesting. I actually suggested to Mike that he start writing a journal as Septimus, and he has.
Nice.
And when I was hung out with him last weekend, he showed me a little bit of it. It was really interesting.
Very cool. I love that, journaling as your character. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. He seemed excited to be doing it.
Yeah.
All right, Shannon.
Yeah.
What do you think you got for a grade for both of these? Let's do 21 first.
I'm gonna stick with B for both of them. Like I don't know. Like, weren't my best, but they weren't shit. So we'll go with a B.
I would say 21 was significantly better than 22.
Yeah, I agree.
21, I don't think 21 you really didn't miss anything.
No.
It just wasn't in your usual like full-blooded notes delivery, but you didn't miss anything.
Yeah, all the little tiny details that I usually have that
exactly
do not matter.
Do not matter, but add charisma to this.
It's like a warlock or something.
So I would say 21 is a stronger one. I'd say give that one a B+. All right. 22, I do think you were missing a lot, comparatively. You missed. There's a lot that I had.
Okay.
There's a lot that I had to lead into.
I missed the conversation with the blacksmith's daughter and Septimus.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I miss?
So a lot of the things you were prompted by me to go into, which granted you may have gotten to them eventually. Like I had to clarify what happened with the patron conversation there. You couldn't remember the main thrust of it. To remind you about talking to Fearn, which you did give the full explanation of, but you had forgotten until I said, and Fearn came and relieved you of your duty. There's a lot that you did remember once I mentioned it. So I'm not saying this is like you. I'm not giving you like a D or anything. But I would say.
It seems like it was heading.
I would say 21. I say you deserve more points than you would give yourself. For 22, I'd say slightly less. I would give it a B-.
Whoa. How about, since 21 was good, we go A- and a B.
So you just want everything to be higher. There's no compromise there. It's just give me a letter grade improvement on both of them.
But the gap between the two stays the same.
Your persuasion roll was not high enough there.
I didn't even roll. I'm gonna roll right now.
You didn't need to.
I rolled a 10.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds exactly correct for this situation. Not a complete failure, but clearly just as down the middle neutral as it could be.
Yeah. So you're gonna put an A- and a B, right? That's what we decided.
Nope. We've got our B+ and our B- here.
Fine.
Which is not, you've not.
Have I fucked my average?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, you've not gotten a grade lower than your previous lowest grade.
That's good.
Which is episode 1, where you got a B-.
Ugh. For episode 1.
Yeah, Shannon, you really struggled with episode 1. You told, when I asked you what you thought you deserved after giving the recap, you said you deserved a C.
I don't remember that. Oh, I don't have it.
Episode 1, you missed a lot of stuff.
All right, well,
we chopped it up to your excitement.
That's right, because we were back in business, baby.
Yeah, and then after that, you had a very good streak. Except for your episode 3 was lacking, but you made up for it with extra credit.
I don't think I want to go through this again.
And then you did really well for 4 through 6.
Great.
Although one of those is asterisked with extra credit. It was probably an A-. You got an A from the extra credit.
From the speculation.
Yep. Then there were 3 episodes where there's no grade because you were not the recapper. B+ for episode 10, A- for 11, A for 12. Massive gap where we just didn't do the power hour, or I did it with the other boys. And then 19 and 20 were both A-. Although 20 you were very, very down on yourself for what you thought the grade was going to be. Yeah. Your predicted was C and your give yourself was B, and I was like, no, you did well. You got an A-. And then we have today.
What a roller coaster. What a roller coaster. Now, let me ask you this, Professor. What suggestion do you have to improve my note-taking?
I would say, I mean, the thing is, like, I think this is a rare instance of it having like stuff missing. But the things that are missing, usually when things are missing, is, and this is usually because your notes aren't as strong as they usually are because of combat or something like that. Is the things that the notes really help you with is other people's stuff that is not necessarily top of mind for SAS, that gets lost if we don't have the notes for it.
Right.
Like the most common error you make is stuff that's like either, like you're not on screen at all, which, you all go blackout for that. So like you could be like, you could have been taking a bathroom break during it.
I promise that I'm there.
Which you don't usually miss that stuff. Which is why most of your grades are in the A range, because you miss a couple things and it drops to an A-, but most of the time you're in the A range.
How do I not miss things though? Because I want A's all the time.
You just write them down. The A- area, the A- you get usually because there's like one major story point missing.
That's I'm nothing if not consistent, because there's always one thing that I miss. I've never gotten everything, and it drives me.
Shannon, do you know how you actually get A's every single time?
How?
Rewatch the VOD.
Fair.
That's the actual way to get an A every single time. is to do the studying for the test.
That's fair.
Like, if we're being honest, even though I do not expect you to do that by any means, but that is the means to a perfect A every single time, is to make sure your notes are accurate by rewatching the VOD. But I'm not expecting you to watch 3 to 3.5 hours every single week.
I'll just put it up on the TV while I'm hanging out with Milo.
Although, if you do watch it on YouTube, you can watch it at 1.5 speed.
Oh.
And it will become 2 hours. Still a lot.
I rewatch it a little bit when I'm editing the VODs to put up. Because I'm looking.
I don't know what you're trying to do here.
I don't know.
By saying that.
I don't know either. I'm just trying.
You're just looking for a validation.
I am. That's it, Sean. That is the story of my fucking life. I am looking for validation.
So yes, if you would like to get a perfect grade, the access is there. And I mean, most of the time you're fairly close to perfect, if not perfect, with your recaps, because you have your notes.
Again, fairly close to perfect story of my life. I'm a recovering perfectionist.
Well, as I always say, that the students who don't have the 4.0 but still have a good GPA are usually the ones who are a little more well-rounded, because they did things other than just study.
Okay.
3.8s, the 3.7s, the 3.5 to 3.9s are my peeps.
For extra
credit? And because that's where I was. Actually, I was at 3.47.
I was in the 3.5 to 3.9, except grad school, baby. 4.0.
Well, I feel like grad school is when
because that's your
it's your thing. So like you should be getting A's, A-, which is why I was so. I've already talked about this, mad about that B+ in my grad school that he gave everyone, and I don't think he really graded them.
I know exactly where you were going with that.
And I was like, I have an A and A- and everything else. I mean, my 3.85 GPA would have been a 3.87. It's not like it would have been.
0.02 matters.
I got everything I needed. I didn't give a shit about my GPA though in grad school, because I was in an art school. I cared about what I made. If I was in a more education-based program like yours, I would have been like, give me that A- that I probably deserved. But speculations.
Shall I speculate wildly, or just mildly?
Please. I would say wildly. I always prefer wild speculations.
All right. Well, we are going to start the session most likely by going down as a group to interrogate the bandits that we captured. Now that's Did she have to? Did you have to? Yeah, I was gonna say, you're not gonna like putting that up your nose.
What does that sound like?
It's terrible, is what it sounds like.
Sounds like a dog rapidly breathing in your ear.
Yeah, it's fucking awful.
Sorry, everyone.
Good God.
Yes, you're going to interrogate
the
deets.
The deets to figure out who their employer was, or who their any information we can squeeze out of them to try and put a neat little bow on this whole excursion. After we do that, we will most likely say our goodbyes to Alicia and head back towards Hyven. Probably stop we'll probably stop at Bearhaven. Nope, not Fair. Stop. It's not Bearhaven.
Nope. You clarified this with me last session.
Did I?
Yeah, and I told you what the right name was. Guess you didn't write it down. There you go.
Okay, Fairhold. I didn't even find it. I just remembered it.
Fairhold. And there's another stop that you'll probably stop at.
I have that too. Stab it.
It's two animals.
Yeah, I know. The badger and is that one of them? Is that one of them?
It is.
Fuck. Hold on. I can find it.
You even saw a pair of them in.
I can find it.
It's
the badger and
coyote. Badger and coyote.
Yeah.
Owned by Yorke Wilkes of Furbolg.
I have that.
Who
has the ever boiling
chews
stew.
tobacco. Has the ever boiling stew and chews a lot of tobacco. Mm-hmm. My notes say CD voice with a heart of gold.
So we'll probably stop at both of those places.
Think you'll run into any danger on the road?
Well, we didn't coming. Well, we did, but it was the bandits, and we took care of them. So I think it's going to be fairly easy travel back. Back to Hyven. I'm certain that we're going to have some conversations amongst the crew now that this whole experience has kind of revealed some truer colors about everybody.
Most likely.
And depending on, if it is easy travel, it shouldn't take us too long to get back to Hyven. So we'll probably go check in with Professor Sigil and relay all the information that we learned. And then Jacquette will make sure that we get paid, because that's what Jacquette does. And then we'll go from there. We have a bunch of threads that we can pull on. We can go back and talk to Kellen, the reporter, did we get a location for the brother?
Yes, you did.
Okay, so maybe we'll go there.
You got his address.
Okay, we'll go to the address of the brother of somebody who was murdered, and this is the story that Kellen, the reporter, is following and trying to find out what's going on. So we could do that. We could investigate further into Mr. Greaves, although that's fairly dangerous because he's a mysterious, dangerous name right now around town, and nobody really wants to talk about him, including Winifred. What else could we do? We could... I feel like I'm missing one thing that we could do. Per usual.
We could look for word.
Look for what? Look for what?
I didn't say anything.
Look for word?
Yeah, about the pirates.
Right.
Or did you forget about the pirates that you...
No, and I think that actually the dead man walking,
there you go.
I think it's Hastings. I think that is who Patron raised. That's the dead man walking. Yeah. You do know, because you fucking created it.
I know exactly who's walking around Hyman.
So it's a man covered in seawater. So, yeah. So, I think that's who it is. I think it's Hastings, and I think it's gonna be a shit show.
Who do you think you're gonna get a lot out of these bandits?
Honestly, no. It seems like they are kind of like on a need to know basis. You know, like they were told what they needed to be told to get the job done, and they don't have a lot. You know, we're going to try everything in our power to, you know, squeeze as much information out of them as we can. But I don't know. I think we might have hit a dead end in this thread for now, and it might be something that comes up again later that we have to pick up and be like, oh my goodness, you were the person that you terrorized that town of Billowgrass, the hamlet of Billowgrass, and you made all those people sick and died, and how dare you? I think, yeah, that's what I think.
And do you still think it's Sigil?
Yes, I do. I think he's the big bad, Sean. I think
of the whole game?
Yeah.
Whole campaign?
Yeah. No, not actually. I just think I think there is more to him than a sickly professor. I think
that makes sense. I mean, I can see how you'd see him as more than just sort of like a curious, sick.
Yep.
Old. I mean, he's not old. He's
exactly.
He's
I think it's
probably somewhere between the age of 30 and 50.
I don't know why it's an act, but I think it's an act, and I think there are larger things at play here.
Sickly professor. What do you think's going to happen with Dalen, the Shadowmancer?
The Shadowmancer. He's going to report back to whoever he reports back to, which I think it's Sigil.
You think it's Sigil?
I do. And then I think Dalen will stalk us maybe and keep an eye on us because, you know, we proved our worth in combat and scared him off.
He did say that you guys weren't worth it. That's why he left.
I think he said that because he knew he was going to get beaten if he stuck around, because we're pretty fucking powerful. Yeah, he just didn't want... He was saving face, is what he was doing. Sure.
Yeah. Definitely what happened.
Yeah, definitely. It's either that or we literally are not worth it and he had bigger fish to fry.
You guys leveled up to level 6, right?
Level 6, baby.
And it's about to get hard. I think game is actually about to get harder.
I'm excited.
Because I've been very cautious because we're coming from a level 16 game back to level 3 that this started.
Yeah.
And so I it's funny because you guys have leveled up, so like your health is decent now. Like in my head, I still thought you guys had like 25 health.
Yeah.
I didn't check the stat blocks, so I was like nervous about overdoing it. But you guys did also do really well.
Yeah.
Well, there was one turn where I did forget to do 2 bandits attacks, which were the bigger bandits too, which may have swayed things a little bit. And then really Dalen wasn't really throwing a lot at you all because he was testing the waters.
Yeah, he was just getting in our heads, literally.
I think he really just thought his shadows were going to take care of you. Right. He could just sit up there.
Right.
And then when you guys started to get up there and throw pot shots at him, and after you didn't die when he cast Circle of Death on you all, he was like, I just don't want to deal with this.
Yep.
And and what is it worth? All the bandits are dead or captured. Like,
why am I still
this
here?
and that's why his
Also
big announcement was this town is a failure. This experiment's a failure.
Yeah, this experiment's a failure. Also of note, which I just remembered, the bounty hunter that captured Jacquet was nowhere to be found.
Right.
Nowhere to be found. So he either fucked off, is a shapeshifter, and shaped into somebody else, and maybe was impersonating as Dalen. Masquerading is the word I wanted. Masquerading as Dalen.
I would say you could fairly surmise that he wasn't masquerading as Dalen because Dalen seemed like the one with shadow magic. There's no evidence that the bounty hunter did any kind of magic.
Yeah. So
Jacquet just presumed the shade that was watching over him was the bounty hunters, but it wasn't. It was obviously Dalen's.
Mm-hmm. So either bounty hunters lying in wait on the way back for us, or
who's paying him?
Exactly. I don't know. Who was paying him?
Because who also wasn't there was Barnaby.
Yeah.
Which through our cutscene, you always don't know this, but they did betray Barnaby.
Right.
And kind of oust him as the Dragonborn ousted him as leader of their bandit crew, which you guys never got the name of, but I do have a name for them.
We'll get it
and maybe, and you didn't see what happened to him.
Right.
Like out of character. All that happened was she told him to run.
Run, right. So maybe we'll see. Maybe there'll be like one of those like a parallel scene on our way, because they ambushed us on the way or attempted to ambush us on the way into Hamlet, on the way into Billowgrass. Maybe something will happen on the way out.
Yeah, I mean, you do know that Alicia reported that they were basically terrorizing the roads to keep people from coming into town.
Right.
Which you presume they were doing to isolate this experiment so they could keep poisoning the town.
Right. And have all the control.
And you know that the bandits themselves were like, they didn't get the experiment fully. When Galen was talking to them, they were like, "Wait, what do you want? Like, everyone's gonna die if we keep doing this. Like we need more. We need something. Like, we need more guidance. We need a better situation. Like, we're not gonna be able to keep operating if we just kill everyone." And it was this disruption between an employer that clearly is experimenting for a reason, and bandits were like, "We can't make any more money if they all die. We won't make any money." What is going on? And that's kind of like they were reaching a critical point anyway.
Right.
That even if you guys didn't interfere, they probably would have still had it. Something would have happened.
Right. Well, and I'm glad that we did interfere though, because that critical point probably could have come to a head, and the town would have suffered because of it, even more so than they already did.
Yeah, and Billowgrass is a central crossroad of the roads of Asia. It's pretty hard to avoid Billowgrass. Which is also why it was even worse for Billowgrass to be disrupted in the way it was. So freeing Billowgrass will see an effect on the entire region.
Yeah, and that's something that I know we've talked about like out of game, is that like seeing more of how our actions affect the greater world, and I think that's cool. Because
there's two crossroads that make up.
I fix.
Thanks. There's two crossroads. There's a crossroad where the Badger and Coyote is, but that's a limited crossroad that doesn't go throughout all of Edge, the north and south path. Because I added some background lore to the region recently for them to look at, because I imagine they'll eventually hear about the rest of Asia. So obviously people had to, from the north market, the south market, all these places, they probably would have had to hire more people to protect their caravans coming through, and they probably spent zero time in Billowgrass because of how dangerous of a town it was. Right. They probably come in, be like, maybe stay the night, probably be like, no, we got to get the fuck out of this town. It's creepy, and
there's nobody here, and
nobody here unless are scared, and there's bandits on the road. We need to get out of here. Right. Or they're like, we're gonna rough it in the forest to get to past Billowgrass. We're gonna go around it. It's gonna cost us even more supplies. So now people will be like, oh, this is great. It's so quick to get to places because we can follow the fucking road.
Yep, and we don't have to worry about the bandits anymore.
Yeah, so like more stuff will come in to Even Haven and more stuff will go to the other places. Generally, this is going to have a very positive effect on the entirety of it.
Good job, team. Good job.
And if you didn't do anything, it was going to have a negative effect on Edge overall.
Yeah.
Those bandits probably would have been like, this is our town now completely.
Yeah.
Fuck everything.
Ooh, so many things at play.
Any other speculations? Any speculations on Septimus or the others?
Not at the moment. My brain's a little bit mushy. But I promise I have been thinking about it, and I should have a better answer in the future.
Well, not going to be next week because we don't have the power.
We don't have the power next week.
But the week after, expect another silly sesh of the Power Hour.
Sesh. And that
it's not going to be until
the 6th of August.
Yes.
August.
It's the 30th. We're going to be not out of Power Hour, and the 6th we'll have a power. Yeah.
Yeah. We should.
Cool.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with us and for partaking in our silliness this evening or time zone whenever you are watching. Join us tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, or go on YouTube if the VODs. Yep. And yep. And we will be playing tomorrow. Are you going to stream on Wednesday? I'd like to. There's always a tiny chance.
I'd like to.
There's always a tiny chance. Well, we'll be in Connecticut and we'll be closer, so I will send the streamy vibes to you.
Please do. Yes.
From however many miles away we will be.
Yeah. Probably like within pretty close.
Pretty close.
Actually.
Closer than we are right now.
Yeah, much closer than we are now.
And then yeah. Sorry, we're tired. All right, friends. Sean, who are we gonna raid?
So many games.
You have to send it. Oh, you already started it. Excellent.
Yep.
Thanks, friends, for hanging out. Thanks for being in chat.
Pickles, it's in your email. It should be in your email already. I sent it before stream started. That's a personal life thing.
Yeah. I just saw the chat. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.